Hey, we have a Monday update that is now two-paned. Look how great that is. Ben is with me. He's actually in the next office, but we're responsible citizens, so we're socially distancing, and he doesn't like it when I'm in there. I don't know why. He
This is true. I don't.
Okay, well, this video could get long if we're just going to do jokes. So, but we do have three things to talk about today, and the first one of them is edited. Ben, I've done poorly here already. I'm starting poorly, so I forgot to hit save, evidently. So we're going to talk about family worship because Ben really brought this to my attention that we may be missing some of you for a reason that is unnecessary. And that is that some of you may have small children and you are worried that you will be a problem in worship because of your children. And so we want to dispel that notion, but also give you some options to help. And we have an expert, right? Because Ben, you have small children. You have younger girls, and you've tackled some of this and want to encourage our families too.
And Peggy would say that she has 4 small children.
I can see that. 3 of them have hopes of growing up. The 4th one is pretty much hopeless at this point.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys do with the girls?
Yeah, so this Sunday we brought we had 2 coloring books, or 2 the girl Addie and Sarah had blank pieces of paper, and we brought a small bag of crayons, and during prayer and during worship they stood and they knew most of the songs, and so they'll sing along as they feel good about that. But during the sermon time, we would like them to listen as much as they can, but also know that, they're 5 and 6 and they're not fully going to grasp everything, and they can also do 2 things at once. And so we give them the opportunity to just color a picture and while the preaching is going on, and that has worked well. And we understand that they're not perfect and they're never going to be perfect, and they're little kids, and so we hope that the people around us understand that too, and believe they will. But that's what we did, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Well, so that'd be great for some of our families with that age kids. And just so you know, you, Ben, but also our families who are watching this, as a preacher, occasionally I've had, and this is not an every Sunday, and it hasn't happened at Union Hill, but I've occasionally had toddlers wander up to me that I've picked up during a sermon and preached with. And then when they were kind of done with me, I just set them down and went on. It was usually like a Sunday night somewhere or a camping trip. Famously, I preached with Christian Alberts. He will love to hear his name in this video, in my arms at a camping trip one time. But not so much that I necessarily want to do that every Sunday. It wouldn't be the worst thing. But what I wanted to say is it doesn't bother me when kids make noise. I'm a little more bothered by adults making noise, in a distracted sort of way. I'm all for the amens and the hallelujahs and the that sort of thing. But no, it really doesn't bother me when kids make noise in worship or while I'm preaching. Jeremiah's in with us in worship. He makes noise every now and again. That's perfectly okay. I know it can be distracting. Every parent in the world feels like their kid is making way too much of a scene. And we just want to tell you that we want that. We're fine with it. We want you to be in worship. If you have health concerns about your kiddos, we completely understand. We get that. What we want to talk about today, why we wanted to talk about this, was to say, if you're staying home because you think you're going to be a problem, well, we'd really like you to quit that and come on. And Ben, you also had another idea that was like for a little bit older kids, like school age kids or something. But man, what if I've got a toddler? How does that work?
Yeah, so we've had the gym open for overflow, and what we would also, recommend or is an option is in the gym, if you would prefer to meet in the gym, there are some chairs that are set up, and so the adult or the older members of your family could sit in the chair, but you could bring a blanket and sit that blanket on the floor in front of your chairs, bring some toys and all that, and just let them sit and play and on that blanket, and you'll be right there, and everyone else will be 6 feet apart, and so we can still social distance, and it gives you an opportunity to come and bring them along and still be part of it. So
I think maybe the hardest thing of that deal is maybe the other worshipers, like particularly I'm thinking of the grandparent age worshipers, not picking that toddler or baby up and holding them because of the COVID-19 restrictions and our social distancing. But I think that's a great option. Once again, I'm a little bit worried about the suggestion of bringing a blanket, of some dads saying, "Oh, I could bring a blanket," and some nap. No, that's not what we're after. And the gym floor is really hard. You're going to feel really bad when you get up from that. And if we catch you carrying in an air mattress, that's not going to be okay. That's going to be right out. But we do want to provide that to you. We want our families to be a part of us, and you worshiping together. Nursery childcare is just something we can't do at this point, or at least we have not figured out how to do in a way that abides by the restrictions or is actually handy for our volunteers or our kids. And so we don't want you to stay away because of that. We want you to be a part of us. And actually, talking about the gym brings me to the second thing. And you'll notice I put this again. We've talked about it a lot. But the good problem that we have is that as we're open, more and more people feel comfortable as they see that we're together and see what we're doing. And we've kind of got some of the kinks worked out. They feel more and more comfortable to come in, and that's exciting. And we hope that continues. What it means is we end up with some new folks every week who haven't seen our seating arrangement and come in and wonder what the heck is going on. I saw one dear lady who I know very well, just hadn't been in our church for a while. As somebody who visits from another congregation from time to time, and she all of a sudden like early on in her service, I heard her say, "Am I not supposed to be sitting on an X?" And I thought, yeah, well, okay, so that's two things. Realize that some folks are going to be coming in and they've never seen a church like this. We've never seen a church like this. So we get to help. And I think we should be careful how we help, Ben, right? I don't want them to help by saying, "You can't sit there." You need to move away from me. Even if we who know have to get up and move someplace else and say, "Hey, we're sitting, we're trying to space out and be physically distant in the way that's recommended. Hey, this place without the X is where LP's asked us to sit. And so why don't you take this spot and we'll go, we'll move right over here," or something like that. That's one thing that needs to happen. We need to keep our eye out for new folks and help them, not just sit there and, I hope they find a seat soon. Be hospitable. And obviously, it's kind of counterproductive to the social distancing to get up and move and give them your seat because you were just there. But I'll just tell you, for me, I think that's better than saying, "Why don't you go sit over there?" That sort of thing. But we do need to be considerate of others. And that's why we have the X's. Ben, I noticed one other thing. Sometimes because our open spaces are kind of wide, because a family should be able to sit there, but lots of folks come just by themselves. Some are spouses who are coming without their spouse because of health concerns or one thing and another. We just have some folks who are singles, and so you look at that big wide open space and you think, well, if I sit down here at this end and they sit down here at this end, we're good. We're completely good. And the problem is the folks who sit in front of you. The pattern we have is so you can be 6 feet apart side to side and front to back. In some ways, that front to back is more important because that's where your breathing's going. And so when we sit out at the edge of those, the people who's right in front of you, now they're right in front of you. So one family unit per kind of open space. Try to sit in the middle of those as much as you can, or if you're on the edges, probably sit on the outsides of them. If you're in the middle of a pew, try to sit right in the middle of that as much as possible. And just be mindful, if we got a couple large families, well, they probably need to be a couple of pews apart or something like that, so we don't overlap there. And the reason why the last topic got me into that is because we have our gym for overflow. So those of you who volunteered to worship for the gym, I probably waited just a little too long last week, and I thought, oh, we're about there, particularly in first service, but I don't think I'll send the folks who volunteered to worship in the gym over, and I probably should have. So we'll probably be just a little bit faster to engage that folks going over to the gym to worship, so that we have somebody over there, so we control the sort of amount of people we have in the sanctuary, but we can still be together, and we be together in the gym. And particularly, again, if we have families with young children who you feel like you'd be more comfortable in the gym, by all means, we can open that and have that going. The computer's set up, everything's ready to go there. Yeah, anything I forgot there, Ben, about how we? Okay, well, just let's help each other in a friendly way, and remember that we run into these things because more and more people are showing up, and that's great. But that does lead to number 3, which is getting together. And so we're getting together for worship. And the other thing we've mentioned a couple of times is getting together in our smaller groups. And so first, I want to say we have some folks doing Sunday school. My class, not the one that I teach, the one that I attend, is meeting a half hour after our 11 o'clock service. We run, get some lunch, and then we meet for Sunday school. And we do that in the gym so we can space out, and that's a great time for us. I appreciate that time very much. We have a class, our Pairs and Spares class is going to start Sunday night at 5 o'clock in the auditorium. So now they're going to have a back end, right, because we have 6 o'clock worship. So they're going to have a time schedule just like we normally do. But, you know, our Sunday school classes are open. If your Sunday school class is not meeting, well, we'd love for you to meet. But if you want to join somebody else for a short time, that'd be great. You'd be welcome to do that. All of those will be in a place where you can be spaced out, the 6 feet apart. If you're in the sanctuary, we'll just keep using the same seating pattern that we have taped off, and we'd love for you to get together. As we get together, your Sunday school class finds a time. We can use the gym or the fellowship hall, the sanctuary. Just let us know when you'd like to meet, and it can be anytime, evening through the week. If you're a retired class, you know, all of your classmates are retired and you want to meet during the day, and our sanctuary is open all the time, so that's fine. Saturdays we could work something out. We'll get you a spot if you find a time. But also, Ben, we get to another sort of small group. We're going to start trying to do some stuff with youth, and I say we, meaning you, of course. So how's that? What's going on there?
Right. So this is number 3, but I have 3 things for number 3. So this is like 3A. Let me say real quickly, last Sunday night we did baccalaureate, and that went awesome. And so I want to particularly say thank you to some volunteers that helped with that, but also to some church members that showed up, made posters, and when the graduates walked out, honked their horn and cheered. And so I just want to say thank you to those of you that came and really celebrated. It's been a tough senior year for our graduates, and so, man, you made it a special night for them.
It was a cool event, and I've had one of our graduate families in particular reach out to me today and say how much they appreciated that, Ben. So, yeah, I want to echo that. Thank you. It was a big deal.
Yep. And so thanks for that. Number 2, we are this Sunday night, we're going to start meeting for youth. We're going to meet from 6 to 7. So we're not going to do the meal right now on Sunday nights, but from 6 to 7 on Sunday nights, we'll meet in the gym. And so I'm going to ask that everyone comes in the fellowship hall doors. So on the west side of the building, you come in and we will meet in the gym. We'll play a game. We'll do Bible study, but all of that will be within the confines of social distancing. So we'll sit 6 feet apart, and we'll be able to gather in a very large circle to do Bible study. We'll be able to play some games without, touching each other or being that close to each other. And so it's an opportunity for us to get together and to hang out and to do some spiritual growth and have some fun, but also still being mindful and careful with all those health concerns. And so that is open for all 6th through 12th graders. And so your students are welcome to come. Again, 6 to 7, we start this Sunday night. The other thing, go ahead.
Ben, I was just going to say again, and I think I mentioned this once before, but man, this whole while I'm anxious to get back to worship where we can fill our building and not be 6 feet apart, for youth ministry, as the dad of a daughter, I think 6 feet apart is good forever. I think that's the new policy. I'm pretty sure teenagers will be susceptible to COVID-19 forever.
Yeah, we can do that. We can leave room for the Holy Spirit and for the parents' desires and all that. Yes, we can do that. So the other thing I just want to mention to parents is today, so today's Monday, I emailed out just some information about youth, and you'll be getting a weekly email from me just with what's going on with student ministry and what we're teaching and all that. And so if you didn't get that, I need you to let me know. And so give the office a call, shoot me an email, Facebook message, anyway. I want to be able to communicate with you and let you know what's going on. So if you did not get that email, please let me know.
Well, very good. That's our Monday update this week. And, Ben and I are trying this together. We may try this again. I would say we could bring in the Sunday school professor or the guru of study, whichever he's going by this week. But my goodness, this was already 15 minutes. We get him on here, it may be an hour for our Monday update. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for staying tuned in and being a part of Union Hill Baptist Church. We'll see you soon.
See ya.